So yeah, basically you just go to settings.py. You can find it more quickly by doing Command P.
Command F.
P.
Command P.
Yeah, that's the command palette. And here you can do a fuzzy search. You can just put in set, S-E-T. You'll probably find it. Yep, enter. And you can put it at the end. So you probably haven't defined the user model. Right, so if you go to the end and you paste in what you have.
You mean after this static file directory?
Yeah, just at the end. It doesn't matter. Somewhere in the thing. Auth user model. And I think you would call this test project dot no, that wouldn't be easy. Is it test app? Yeah, test app dot user.
Will we rename the user to JT user, or should we keep it user?
I don't know. I mean, I would actually prefer to keep it as user, if possible. I'm just wondering if Django will complain about that. So let's try for user, and if it's not working, then we'll make it JT user.
Yeah, so go back and modify this file.
Yeah, I mean, it's just my preference would be to just call it user, and then just have it be like, for this website, the user model is this is what it is. It extends the Django authentication blah, and it's just the user model for our project. All right, try to see if the migration works now. Okay, and now you have issues with like the default values. Okay. So let's look at your models.py, and it's complaining about the position field on some table.
Position is the name of the table, I believe. Hold on.
Oh, position on contact. It's on the contact model.
That's the default.
So on line 173. Let's see.
But this is foreign key.
Yeah. And so the issue is that previously it was a nullable field. And so it's an issue with like so you're trying to make a migration. Honestly, the migration we're making right now has nothing to do with this, but it's just that you haven't been doing the migrations as you've been developing this, and there seems to be an issue with there's probably some data in the database that if we created and ran a migration for it, it would not work. And so you need to provide. It gives you some options. Basically,
maybe we can set up default.
You could add a default. You could ignore it.
Let's ignore it. Or default. Both case will work for me because it's test data anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So which field is that basically on position table? So this is basically position.
I think you need to think about what the business logic is, right? So Is it possible to make a contact without a position? If you want to say no,
No, it cannot.
referential integrity, I'm going to enforce referential integrity, and I'm going to say that I'm not going to allow a contact without a position that should throw an error, then similarly any sort of existing information that exists would should never have existed because of that validation you're enforcing. So you can either delete the data in the database, and all future data will have that that foreign key set, or you provide a default value or something.
Okay, default value on what? On position ID table, but it's automatically generate. It's automatically, if you see that position is a foreign key, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this will be automatically generated when I run this position.
Right. I mean, you could. And I feel like you're gonna get a lot of these, right? So if you
Cannot be. It doesn't make any sense. Key for like the reason why it
if
doesn't
you
make
press
sense.
2, I think you're just gonna get a lot of these. So
No,
if we skip it,
no, but it doesn't make any sense, because if you think about when I generate primary key cannot be null. So whole field here doesn't make any sense. Why would you generate, like, this is a foreign key, right? On position table, when I run make migration, automatically will generate SQL statement with primary key as position ID. So therefore, it doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense for this to be default, because why would you even have default? This is just some number randomly generated by software.
it's an edge case. This is like it's a discrepancy between how the system will work in practice and kind of like how to get it working locally based off the existing data in the database.
Yeah, hold on.
So we could try to skip it and just see what happens.
How do you skip it?
So it says number 2, ignore for now and let me handle existing roles of null myself. Alright, great. So we created a model user, change managers on company, alter field, delete model contacts. Alright, great. So you have a migration now. So can we run the migration? If you did python manage.py run migration, or migrate rather, python manage.py migrate would actually apply this migration. So we have test app user. Try maybe in the settings.py it has to be test app.models.user.
Where in the models?
In settings.py,
Wait a second.
that setting that we specified. Test app, maybe that has to be test app.models.user.
Is it?
Lowercase m. So yeah, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it says Invalid model reference test app.models.user. String model references must fit the form app label model name. So the app label should be test app, I think. We need to double check the app label. And the model name should be user.
Test app, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember off the top of my head how the app label is determined.
Model should be users, not user.
No. It would just be like that, yeah. Test app dot user. I'm trying to think how is the app label determined? So if you scroll within the settings.py, there's a section called installed apps. One of those should be the app label. Here we go. So we have testapp.apps.testapp config. Installed apps. You know what? I think you've never configured this correctly. I think you need to add another entry after 47 saying test app. Try saving that. Try saving that and running it. Application labels aren't unique. Duplicates. Test app. Test app. I would comment out 44 because I'm not sure if that's correct.
1 second, 1 second. It means that we can have, there are probably two configs, right? There is, give me 1 second, because,
So what are you thinking regarding the configuration?
let's comment it out. No.
It's such a SQL thing. No, this is Python, so you do a hash. So Command S. Okay, great. And try to rerun it. Okay. Admin log entry user was declared with a lazy reference to test app user, but app test app doesn't provide model user. Okay. You need to make it uppercase U. So if you scroll to the bottom of settings.py, you had a typo there. Oh no, that's not right. Admin log entry dot user was declared with a lazy reference to test app dot user. But app test app doesn't provide model user. Could you search through the code base for lowercase u user? It might be in the migration. The typo might have also been in the migration or something. So do you have ripgrep? You probably don't. Hmm. In the terminal, can you make that larger? I want to see more of the stack trace.
Control plus?
No, so in the upper right corner of the terminal, there's the X button, and then there's the arrow button. Press the arrow button. Okay, so migrate operations, perform migration, recommend auth complete. There's up by main. Okay. Maybe you can delete the migration and recreate it. I think that I'm guessing there is an issue with the migration, and we changed enough things that maybe the migration needs to be regenerated. So, could you do rm space, I think test app / migrations / 0002. Basically, remove the second migration. So you do rm. This is just terminal stuff. Yeah, I guess you could do the Explorer too.
So Python.
No. So first, delete the migration. Delete the migration we made, which was like 002 whatever. Yeah, that 002 thing. Delete that.
Are you sure we don't have to do it terminal first?
No, it's the same thing. Like, I feel very comfortable with the terminal, so I can just do it very quickly in the terminal. But it's the same thing as the Explorer. Yeah, delete permanently. They're fungible. Right, so then do python manage.py make migrations. Do the two. Alright, now migrate. This is very weird. I would Google this. I would Google this value error. Admin log entry .user was declared with a lazy reference to test app.user. I've never seen that before. So just please Google that.
Okay, I'll Google it. Carrie, till what time are you running today? Is this are you done or are you?
What do you mean?
No, till what time are you running this session today?
I was gonna run it till 6.
Oh, okay, sounds good. So okay, so what are we googling? Are we googling this part?
Just the last line, right? So from value error to user.
This guy?
No. Value error. Well, the other value error.
Like this?
Yeah.
Maybe because test.py is my application. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Totally right.
Take a look at this.
Yeah, it's about so like everything before the dot is supposed to be the app, the Django app, and then after everything after the dot should be the model name.
But take a look at this.
Yeah, I see that.
So are you sure we entered
So if you
this correctly?
scroll up, what does it say in the other one? Oh, if you scroll down, so now the comments, right? So in this it says it is API indeed, but now I get this error value error was declared for lazy reference. It should be uppercase P, not P. That is an error different from what is mentioned in your question. I think it would be better to ask another question. You could actually open up these comments. So show 11 more comments. Do you have some old migrations or just random migrations? Migrate. I guess the type is only on here and not in your code. You wrote API. That worked, but yeah, another error. Yeah, I'm not sure. There seems to be a discrepancy, but when we specified the user model, we use the uppercase U, and also in the models up high, we have an uppercase U, right?
Right.
Okay, so then those should be right, but then somehow somewhere it's getting confused with a lowercase U.
So we should not do something like this. User that user.
That doesn't make sense, right? So the first part is the app, is the Django application. Your application is test app, and then the model is, and then the second part is the model name.
Less authorized user. What is recommend? Recommended the name of the application?
Yeah, their application would be recommend. You know, maybe because like I've never actually seen you run the first migration, so there could be an issue with the first migration as well. So we deleted the second migration, but we never verified if the first migration works. So the issue could be in the first one. Could we delete both of those migrations and run, and recreate a migration and run that?
You can try. I mean, this is one of the ways where you can set up migration from the beginning. You can say manage migrate the name. What this is the name of the app, and this is like this specifies that you have to start from the beginning. The word zero. I'm not sure. authorization, what it stands for? Is that the name of the app?
Could be. 'Cause I know that when you when you run the default, when you use the default like off system in Django, they have their own sort of migrations as well.
Okay, let's try to run it. Fine.
I wonder if there's a way for like to list the migrations.
Yeah, there is. The command for this is, give me 1 second.
We could probably look at the help for migrate. So no, you could do like Python manage.py migrate dash dash help.
Python help.
No, manage.py migrate dash dash help. So essentially, it's the same command, but if you add the dash dash help, you'll get some instructions.
This?
I mean, that'll work for the manage.py, which you should look at. But then we can also find help that's specific to the migrate command. You can run this, just so that you see that it's available.
The name of the command is show migration, I think.
Okay. So yeah, let's show migrations and look at see what happens.
So here is, you see, like this X means that it's run successfully. So it's run initial. This guy, number 2, did not, because if it runs successfully, there will be like X.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Can you expand this? I've never actually looked at this. So yeah, there's migrations for auth.
You see how I
admin.
deleted migration before also. I did, this, I did run some of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, these some of these are from Django itself. This is like core Django stuff. So the stuff that's specific to your app would be in test app.
So in other words, we have one migration incomplete, which is migration 002. This guy.
Yeah, and it's just really weird because, like, what version of Django are you running?
Sure.
So you can cat out the pip file.
I think we can specify Python manage.
Well, it's not about specifying. It's like, what are you running? What is this project running? So if you cat out the pip file, it'll say.
No, but there is a way to find out what version of Django it is, isn't it? You specify.
Right. So do you have a pip file?
Pip it's one way, but there is a command called Django version or something like this. I remember I run it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's probably something in manage.py that'll print out the.
Remember, if you go to tutorial, where's the tutorial for this guy? Remember the tutorial for Django? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than one way to do it. I don't really care how you do it.
The first tutorial tells you how to Django tutorial. Is that the guy? Part 1. You basically have some. Here it is. You run Python/m Django version. That's basically what tells you version. So you can run it. So I run version 3.03.
2.1.
Is that what you wanted to find out?
Yeah.
You can run pip also, I'm sure, because pip will compare what you're running right now version, what is available, yeah.
Alright, so this is pretty modern. This is a pretty modern version of Python, or Django.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really stumped because, so the migration is not or it's an issue with one of your migrations.
Right. I just.
But the error sounds very much like one of the error sounds like it's an error in like Django stuff. Can you? Well, anyway, you could probably do migrate with like verbose or something, and maybe we can see the specific line. No, so if you did migrate but -- help, there might be a verbose flag.
You mean managed by migrate?
Yeah, migrate. I want to see if there's like a verbose mode.
Verbose?
Just if you do -- help, we can figure out what the verbose flag is. Verbosity 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you did migrate -v 3, we would get more information. No. So -v space 3.
And I think it's different. It's quick with brackets, right?
No. That's showing you the format. So that's an optional argument. So you if you want to specify, you specify without any parameters, without any parens. So you just put the 3 in there. Okay, run that. Now we might get a lot of stuff. So you wanna expand this. It doesn't look like it showed much. Admin log entry user was declared with laser reference to test app user, but test app doesn't provide model user. You know what? Maybe we just need to read the documentation on this.
Yeah, but that's what after our session, what I will do, I will go ahead and study.
But I think we can solve it together. So if you go back to the Stack Overflow answer, where it said, "Oh, put this in settings.py," it also linked you to a page that basically just goes through this. And I think we just need to update one other thing probably. So the issue is that we're subclassing the user model, but there are parts of Django, like the admin panel, that will try to follow through to this thing. So if you bring up the Stack Overflow.
Wait, what?
The Stack Overflow? If you can open up the browser, the Stack Overflow question. Alright, so this is the tutorial. If you go back to one of the questions, if you scroll up, no, go to the other tab. The other question, maybe. Alright, great. Where it says substituting a custom user model, we're probably just missing like one more thing. So if you just click on that page and we can just skim it.
This one?
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't use a user. I'm just thinking about. Maybe it's somehow like there is a library with the same name, and maybe we are overwriting it.
No, but it says right here. So if you're starting a new project, it's highly recommended to set up a custom user model. Even if the default user model is sufficient for you, this model behaves identically to the default user model, but you'll be able to customize it in the future if the need arises. And they're calling it user, right? So user, abstract, user, pass. So if you scroll down, we keep reading this. Don't forget to point off user model to it. Do this before creating any migrations or running manage.py migrate for the first time. So I think that's the issue. I think the problem is that we had some of these migration files in the beginning of the project, and then we ended up trying to subclass the abstract user with something else, And so there's a big problem with all those old migrations. So, but I think for you, the solution would be to delete all the migrations, and recreate them using the current version of the data model, and then it should all work.
You want to try it?
Yeah. So if there were a way to, so you have migrations here, but we need to somehow roll back the migrations, even the ones in Django. And I'm not 100% sure how to do that.
I think the example was 0.
Try it.
Remember when we did this help migrate? Migrate or no? No, I do not think this is the guy. No, not this one. I think it's make migration. I think it's make migration.
Well, I know to roll things back, you would do migrate and then the migration number, but
But if you specify 0, if I remember based on my reading, it should get you to the beginning. I know where we read this. We read this from when I went to tutorial, right? When I went to Django.